The film opens with a man named Matthew who has just landed in Paris after finishing his work as a scientist in Canada. After landing, Matthew immediately calls his daughter Sarah, who wants her father to hurry home. Matthew heads home with his suitcase, because he can't wait to see his beloved daughter. Matthew and Sarah don't live in the same place, because Sarah and her mother live in an apartment across from where Matthew stays. When Matthew goes to Sarah's apartment, he runs into an elderly neighbor named Grandpa Belkacem, who is very old and uses an oxygen tank to help him breathe. Then when he arrives at Sarah's apartment, we learn that Sarah has an unusual autoimmune syndrome. She is severely allergic to the air, which forces her to spend her entire life inside a special capsule. Matthew gives Sarah some perfume and a memory card with photos of the Rocky Mountains. Of course, the gift is very meaningful to Sarah, who has never gone outside in her whole life. Matthew then meets his wife Anna, and tells her about a new treatment for Sarah in Canada. But Anna isn't convinced because their doctor never mentioned it. However, Matthew insists that this treatment is very different and hasn't been published yet, so most doctors don't know about it. Meanwhile, Sarah is video chatting with her friends who have the same illness. Their names are Charlotte and Noe. The three of them call their group fish in an aquarium. At the same time, Matthew insists on taking Anna and Sarah to Canada for treatment. But for now Anna is still unsure and will think about it, so Matthew returns to his own apartment. Around the same time, many TV stations reported a fairly large earthquake in Denmark and Sweden. Soon after, a big earthquake also hits Paris, causing a total blackout. Because of that, Sarah's capsule switches to battery mode. Knowing this, Matthew immediately runs towards Sarah's apartment, but on the street he sees people running in panic. He tries to find out what is happening and sees thick brown smoke coming out of the ground. But this is not ordinary smoke. Anyone who breathes the brown smoke dies. Realizing this, Matthew immediately runs to find Anna and takes her away to look for a safe place. Meanwhile, Sarah remains safe inside her capsule. Matthew and Anna run upstairs until they reach the highest apartment in the building. They ask the residents of that top apartment to let them in. A pair of elderly people named Lucien and Colette let them in. Matthew looks out the window and sees that the smoke is right below them. Anna immediately calls Sarah on the walkie-talkie to check on their daughter. Now the whole city is covered in brown smoke, with only the rooftops sticking out. Sarah sees thick fog around her capsule but is still safe inside. The next morning, Anna calls Sarah again to check on her. Sarah says her capsule battery has 4 bars left, which means it will last about 10 hours. Meanwhile, Matthew climbs onto the roof and sees that the brown smoke is now everywhere. Lucien tries to call his son on the phone but there is no signal. He adds that his son lives near the building across the street and hopes he found shelter. Lucien then finds his old broken radio and tries to fix it. Matthew goes into the hallway and touches the fog, but when it touches his skin he feels nothing and nothing happens to his skin. Because of that, Matthew decides to check on Sarah, but to get there he would have to hold his breath for at least 4 minutes so he doesn't inhale the brown smoke. Then Matthew remembers that Grandpa Belkacem has an oxygen tank to breathe, so he goes down to Belkacem's place, which is directly below Lucien's apartment. Matthew enters through the window and finds Belkacem's dead body. He finds the oxygen tank and immediately puts on the mask. He puts the tank into a bag and goes to see Sarah. There, Matthew assures Sarah that she will be fine. He gives her some food, a flashlight and batteries for the walkie-talkie. He also changes the batteries before leaving. After that, Matthew continues through the city and sees many dead bodies on the streets. He takes batteries from cars on the road for extra supplies. At the same time, he hears a crowd of people on the next street. When he checks, several soldiers are leading a group of survivors, all wearing masks. Matthew asks one soldier what is happening, but they also don't know exactly where the smoke came from or how far it has spread. The military is now taking survivors to Montmartre, which is a hill, so they can be free from the smoke. The soldier invites Matthew to join the other survivors, but Matthew refuses because he can't leave his family behind, so he only asks the soldier for an extra mask. On the other side, Sarah and Anna talk on the walkie-talkie. Sarah is worried about her father, who is still outside the building, but soon Matthew arrives and tells the others what he just found. That night, Matthew goes back into the hallway to check the smoke and sees that it is rising higher. He immediately tells Anna and realizes the situation is getting worse. So Matthew plans to go look for more masks the next morning so they can escape from this place. While the others sleep soundly, Anna stays awake because of her worry. She secretly goes to visit Sarah, who is sleeping, and changes the capsule's batteries before leaving again. The next day, Anna is fixing Lucien's radio with some tools she took from home. When the radio works again, It broadcasts an emergency recording warning everyone not to go outside and to lock all doors and windows. At the same time, they hear explosions outside, so Matthew and Anna go up to the roof to check. There they see a fire at Montmartre and riots breaking out. They go back inside, and Anna plans to go to Sarah's friend Charlotte's house. Charlotte lives in Morpan, which is a mountainous area, so Sarah could share a capsule with Charlotte. Matthew remembers there is a special suit for Sarah to use during the trip, but that suit is in a laboratory in the middle of Paris. Anna decides to go with Matthew because she has been there before. They start their journey using the masks Matthew got from the soldier, but before they leave, they visit Sarah and tell her that Anna left the walkie-talkie with Lucien, so Sarah can talk to Lucien and Colette if she needs anything. Sarah also asks her parents to go to Noe's house, which is not far away. Noe's parents are not home, so Sarah wants to check on Noe. Anna and Matthew agree to stop by Noe's house. Shortly after, when they arrive in front of Noe's building, a fierce dog suddenly appears and starts chasing them. They run in panic until Matthew accidentally falls into the Seine River. He swims to the shore. Meanwhile, Anna tries to hide behind cars, but the dog spots her. She runs into a bus. Luckily, when the dog tries to attack her, its leash gets caught, giving Anna time to run further away. Matthew reaches dry land and changes clothes with a dead body lying on the street. Then he sees an overturned car with a hazmat suit inside. He leaves that place and finally reunites with Anna. They go into the lab and find more dead bodies. After searching the lab, they enter a room and find a suitcase containing the special suit they were looking for. They quickly leave the lab, but as they pass a burning room, a large fire explodes in front of them, throwing them both back. They survive, but Matthew has burns on his stomach. The explosion also damages Matthew's oxygen hose, making it hard for him to breathe. Anna immediately shares her oxygen with Matthew, who takes a long breath and holds it. That way they safely reach the upper floor. They go into the upstairs room to treat Matthew's wound. After resting a while, they plan to return to Lucien's apartment. But then Matthew sees that Anna's oxygen tank is not enough for both of them, so he asks Anna to go back alone with the suitcase while he finds another way. Although Anna refuses at first, she finally agrees to go back alone to save her daughter. Anna runs fast with the suitcase because her oxygen tank is almost empty. Just as she reaches Lucien's apartment, her oxygen runs out. She takes off her mask and holds her breath until she gets inside. Anna checks the suitcase and finds that it burned up in the explosion. Elsewhere, Matthew climbs to the roof of the lab building and sees some supplies and a rope leading to another building. As he climbs the rope, he reaches a place with many neatly stacked supplies. There he also sees bloodstains from an officer next to a car. Matthew looks around and enters a garage that contains oxygen tanks and a rifle. Just as he takes an oxygen tank, a policeman appears and says the fog will get thicker every day. He asks Matthew to give him the oxygen tank because he desperately needs it. Matthew refuses, so the policeman pulls out his gun and tries to kill Matthew. Matthew still refuses and pushes the policeman, causing both of them to fall into a parking lot full of smoke. They fight hand to hand. Finally, Matthew grabs the policeman from behind and lets him die from inhaling the smoke. He then returns to Anna, who is talking to Sarah on the walkie-talkie. Sarah asks her mother about life after death, because she believes they will be trapped in the thickening smoke and will meet again in the next life. Anna assures Sarah not to think too much about the smoke. She tries to be realistic, saying the smoke is not caused by divine power but by a chemical reaction. At the same time, Anna sees a notification that Sarah's capsule battery is almost dead, so she risks changing the battery without an oxygen tank because it is already empty. Anna runs out of the apartment holding her breath and enters the capsule room. Sarah sees her mother without a mask and gets worried. Anna quickly changes the battery and tries to get back to Lucien's apartment. Soon after, Matthew arrives at Sarah's place. Sarah immediately tells him that her mother came to change the capsule battery without a mask. Hearing that, Matthew goes upstairs and finds his wife dead. He cries bitterly and Sarah hears it. When Matthew returns to Lucien's devastated place, Sarah calls him on the walkie-talkie, and Matthew tells her the bad news. A few hours later, another big earthquake shakes Paris. Matthew goes to the balcony to check outside and sees that the brown smoke is now rising to their floor, meaning they can't stay there much longer. Matthew remembers the hazmat suit in the overturned car. He decides to go get it for Sarah. He will also try to find more oxygen for Lucien and his wife, but Lucien refuses and chooses to stay in his apartment. Lucien says he and his wife have lived a good life, so they will accept their fate of being hit by the deadly smoke. Hearing that, Matthew doesn't force them and goes to check on Sarah. When he reaches Sarah's place, she is angry because she is afraid she will end up like her mother if Matthew leaves. but Matthew assures Sarah that he will come back and save her. He then shows how Lucien and Colette lie on their bed holding hands as the brown smoke slowly enters their room. Meanwhile, Matthew successfully takes the hazmat suit from the overturned car. Then he finds an abandoned motorcycle with the keys still in it and rides away. But on the road a kid suddenly crosses right in front of him, causing Matthew to fall. Elsewhere, Sarah hears footsteps entering her room. Matthew slowly wakes up from the fall and realizes his head is bleeding a lot. He gets up and stumbles toward his daughter's apartment. Just as he is too weak to continue, two shadows appear from the smoke. They are Sarah and Noe. Sarah immediately runs and hugs her father for the first time since she was born. Sarah explains that Noe came to get her. The brown smoke has no bad effect on people with her illness. Matthew is overjoyed to hear this. He then sees Sarah running in an open field with her friends. Matthew wakes up from that dream and finds himself inside the capsule. Now the situation has reversed. Matthew stays in the capsule to avoid the smoke, while Sarah is free to go outside and take care of her father. Sarah also leaves the walkie-talkie for Matthew to call her if he needs anything. The film ends.